Hey, Poopy Podcast here, and we just want to remind you all to please rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend. It's so important to us to get this laughing and learning about everything but out to you all. The only way to do it is if you subscribe and listen. And
it's in your hands, people. It's in your hands. Also, if you have any tips, any potential guests that you might think would be a good fit on the Hey Poopy Podcast, give us a call at 203-998-5579, or you can email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com.
Even if you have an interesting story that you don't want to be on the podcast, you can send it in anonymously to us and we'll read it on the podcast. Or if you just have a question that we haven't hit on yet, like, why does my asshole hurt? Email us, call us. We want to know.
We definitely want to know. We got you covered, is what we're trying to say.
Hey, Poopy, how you doing? Hey, Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things, about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey, Poopy, how you doing? Hey, Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about food?
And now, the Hey Poopy Podcast with Dave and Ellen.
Hi, everybody. We are back on this dump day.
And it's literally 2 days before the end of this crap year.
Yeah.
But it is our episode 100.
Yes.
Bum, 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 bum,
The
bum,
100
bum,
to
bum,
get
bum.
rid of the shitty year that is 2020.
Yes. And this is the Hey Poopy Podcast with
Dave
and Ellen, and this is episode 100, but it'll always be number 2 to us. And I can't believe this milestone that we just hit.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I feel like we gave birth to something. A big dump and a big episode. And with that, we have our super fan, Ms. Rose Marting, on the show today. Thank you, Rose.
It's me, Rose. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so proud of you guys. I cannot even tell how many people have told me, but like, how many of these can they do? And I'm like, you don't. Everybody poops, and everyone has stories, and it is a wealth of new material that we're going to go over from last year.
Completely. We have a lot of
We
stuff.
already have, like, I think 7 people booked for after this episode, so the stories just keep coming.
The hits keep
We
coming.
have
The
101. We have 102. We're
Yeah.
just going to celebrate
The
100 today.
The shits keep coming, as they say.
Yes.
And I would like to thank you, Rose, so much for being here, because you kicked off 2020 on January 1st with us last year with our rear end review for year end rear view.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're closing out the year. And
Back to back.
Yeah.
I love it.
Last year you were in person. This year we have to do it on Zoom. Last year compared to this year, how much has changed in 365 days?
So much. We would never have predicted. Never.
No. If you read that in a story, you'd be like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is a movie. Well, it was a movie, I guess. Outbreak, sort of.
Yeah.
Contagion.
And Contagion. Yeah.
So, but
No, you would have been like last year if you were like, can you imagine if we had a pandemic? Ha 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 ha.
exactly.
No, we could take care of that. We have the technology and the science. Nope.
But thankfully, we do have good technology in the sense where we can actually record this thing still. So that's what
Yes.
really matters. And as much as the pandemic sucks and, all the death and just completely nonsense that's been going on in this country, it has made for great podcasting because everybody's at home for the most part. And like they're available. They're available to talk. So for us, we've stacked a million clips, episodes just being on quarantine and whatever.
Yeah, you guys
We've
got
had-
some good gets.
And we've also, because of this horrible pandemic, we have now cartoons
Yeah.
that we would not have had if it wasn't for the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah. So, as much as, coronavirus blows, it's done some good things for us on this show. So with that, I guess we'll start with our check-in, right? Since you're our guest, obviously, you go
Okay.
first.
Guys, I cannot believe that this happened and that this happened today. If you'll
Wait, this happened today?
today. It's my literal check-in about today. So if you'll recall, last time I had a bunch of stories, a lot of like toilet stories, fart stories. stuff like that. But I like when it came to like actually shitting your pants as an adult person, I was like, I just haven't. I'm like really trying to think and I didn't until this morning today. Last night I ordered.
It's a miracle.
I know, and I'm like, I have no makeup on. I'm sick. I literally was in bed until 15 minutes before this, and I'm like, well, I got to do it now. Like anything else, I would have canceled because I got food poisoning. But so I ordered bad food, and I took my favorite food in the world is comfort food is mozzarella sticks. And you can still get that delivered. They were still hot. I was like, great. I took a chomp of one and I was like, you know when you can tell something deep fried, the oil was bad?
Oh, yeah.
So this, I could tell immediately that this was not right. So I think I ate half of one and I was like, oh, that wasn't right. And I just threw them away. And then ate the rest of my dinner. It was fine. This morning at 6:30 in the morning, someone rang my doorbell, to be let into the building.
The worst. I hate that.
What? I hate that. So I you jump up, go to the door, see that it's nothing for me, and I don't let them in. And I'm just like going back to bed, and my body's like, you're not going back to bed yet. We got some business to do. You're up now. So I'm like, all right. So
your body is up and your bowels are out.
Yeah.
My bowels were excited. Like, in old timey language, my bowels were excited. So I was like, all right. So it was like a normal 5 or 6, not great, not terrible though. And I was like, all right. And I go back to bed. And an hour later, when you get that feeling that you might throw up and it's like a swallow, it's like a hard swallow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like one of those. And I was like, oh, come on. I know that I ate something bad last night, but it's been 12 hours now. Like, come on. And then it was the second hard swallow.
Oh, no.
The one that's like, you have 45 seconds to get to somewhere where you want your puke to go. So I run to the bathroom, and my bathroom is set up that the toilet and the tub are adjacent to each other. So I sit on the side of the tub to puke into the toilet. And I do. And it's that wonderful feeling of like, get it all out. Yes, there was something bad in me. Get it out.
Amen.
And I get it all out down to the, where it's just clear water. Because when I went up to get the door, I also had water. So it was like the last of it was out. And I'm like, oh, great. We're done. I'm still cold and sweaty though. And I'm like, oh, I still don't feel good. And I turn around and look in the tub. And I just stare at it for 15 seconds. It's like when a chef uses those squeezy bottles to make a fancy dessert.
That's sort of like the little dressing at the end, where they kind of like fancy it all up.
And I was just like, what is that? And the angle of it and the constitution of it is such that there is no doubt at all that it is a pure liquid number 7 splattered across my tub from the force of throwing up. And I still have my underwear on. I'm looking back at myself like, what is happening? And I guess in sliding across the lip of the tub, I like pulled my underwear to the side. So it didn't even hit the underwear.
Oh my God.
It was like a ghost shit.
Because I was going to say, at first, I thought you said when you had it on, I was like, oh my God, it shot right through your underwear too. It must have been the velocity of that thing.
I mean, I really examined the underwear very closely because I'm like, how is this physically possible?
See, this is the greatest thing. You didn't even shit your pants. You chose floor and you didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it.
Subconsciously, your bodies knew what to do.
If you will recall, I was one of the few people who said in pants or floor that I would probably do pants, if only because I do still think this, that people underestimate the panic of that moment. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't have the wherewithal to get to the bathtub of my house. I cannot believe it. And so I'm still feeling not great. And I was just like, I can't do anything the rest of the day. Today is ruined. Like, write it off. And then I'm like, wait, no, today is the perfect day for this to have happened.
It is.
Any other Zoom call, you'd be like, gotta cancel, but our show.
This is fantastic. I mean, I feel awful that you're feeling shitty, but that was so fantastic. I just love how you sat down and your underwear just shot to the side. I mean, you even the fact that you were that sick too, you didn't even feel it coming out. Like no, that's like.
The heaving was very strong, so I was actually not surprised at that part. But the not hearing it and not even sensing it was just, you sense it. You're like,
oh yeah, you know,
you're gonna poop right now. Like, oh
wow.
But also the fact that you got it in the tub, an easy place to clean up. And
I'm so thrilled.
Yeah,
yeah,
like.
You hit all the marks, actually. You didn't shit your pants. You kind of did, but not really. And then you got it all in the tub, so it's a nice, easy, like, cleanup. You were like, it's like a perfect murder.
And
Put this in your pants.
And it was a number 7. It was a number 7, so no chunks. And I cleaned my bathroom last night, which actually I think might have contributed, like, the smell of the chemicals, yeah. So everything was still out. I was like, I couldn't have planned this any better.
Yeah. I mean, the poop gods were with you that day. They were like, wow, but that's crazy to happen today.
Matt Knife, this happened in 2019, so it didn't happen in the past year. Matt Knife's check-in when he shit his pants the night before he came into the podcast was, I thought, number 1 best check-in ever. Rose, you just rose the bar.
You've taken number one with a bullet. You were.
It was a bullet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that check-in was pretty. I mean, nothing. That's going to be hard to top that one.
Yeah.
And my only time.
You pants floored it kind of at the same time. It was a mystery.
I mean, it was a phantom shit in the tub. You hit like every check mark. I mean, the next person that even comes close is gonna have to shit on the ceiling or some kind of like miracle shit because that is gonna top that. So, thank you for sharing that. And I do again feel so bad that you're not feeling that well, but I'm glad that you're here.
That knife right off.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
There's a new number 1.
On anyone, it was really disgusting and hilarious. I did laugh a little bit. I was like, what? But I just terrible and like, yeah.
The greatest part, I think, to our show now is that all these embarrassing, terrible, miserable, sickening things that are happening to us are now officially being celebrated. Like we have somebody else coming on in a couple of weeks who has been on the show before, and they had a shit their pants story and had to call and text and like contact all of us right away. Instead of like being in shame, they're like, I know exactly who's going to appreciate my lack of continence.
I'm just thinking of all the people that haven't contacted us. Like all the shit stories that are going unchecked, that are going undocumented. But I'm grateful for like people sending that into us. So thank you for that.
I love it. Okay, how about you guys check in? How have your poops been recently?
Nothing compared to that. Jesus. I had.
Gabe, do you want to go into it? I have mine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be. Ellen's is probably gonna be. Not epic, but it'll be storied. I woke up early 2 days in a row. Actually, I woke up kind of early in the morning, like 4:00 in the morning, and had to go to the bathroom. But I think it might have been because like I made some fancy stir fried like noodles with like vegetables and a little bit of chicken, and I think I went a little too crazy with the hot sauce. I don't know what it was, but I went to the bathroom pretty bad. Like it was 6.5. It was just like, when you shit, just like that like, it's like blap, it just comes all out. You're just like, oh, so you just know, like I didn't even look to go in the blood. I just flush it first because there's no way. It's like leaving remnants. It just is messy. And it kind of freaked me out because I'm like, oh God, not this. Like we just kind of, your stomach is like just really sore on top of it. And it woke me out of my sleep. Thankfully. Could you imagine just like shitting your pants like that? In bed, my wife would kill me. So yeah, I had 2 nights of those. But other than that, it's been like the normal kind of like ranging from, it could be, I had a nice 3 the other day to like a 5-ish, so, nothing to write home about, but except for this hot sauce shits, which sucks.
You need to follow up your hot sauce eating with your papaya enzymes.
I did take the papaya enzymes too, so maybe something like helped. I don't know, but it was nuts.
In my notes, there was one of the guests, Gabrus, who had a fantastic analogy for what you just described. He's like, when it's like it all comes out at once, like the Deadliest Fisherman show. Deadliest catch.
Deadliest catch.
Deadliest catch. It's like,
yeah, it's pretty much like that.
I did like, Dave, your sound effect, which you might need to like cut that out. That's
what it was. It's like, I hate those kind of shits because I'm like, that's just not healthy. Like, I just, like when like you're just like, that's disgusting. I mean, it's all disgusting, but it's extra disgusting. Well, Ellen, let's hear about this bad boy.
Well, I have like a simple I pooped check-in, and then I have something on a side note that's an exciting part to my check-in that has nothing to do with my pooping, but kind of has to do with my pooping. So your two-parter. Today, I was in a meeting with Dave and our executive producer, Stormy, and I put it on mute.
I knew you did. Sorry. I fucking knew it. Sorry, keep going. And
I pooped while they were talking.
I knew you did because like it was like Ellen, and then it was like no Ellen, and it was like eerily. Like, Stormy started talking. I'm like, she's taking a shit right now because it's like there's no response, there's nothing going on. I don't hear a voice.
And it was a perfect 4. It was massive. Fell out of me at least 12 inches.
I was gonna say something on that call, but I was like, I'll get back to it later. I forgot, but yes, I fucking knew it.
I pooped during the meeting.
Oh, okay, it's been done before.
If anybody knows anything about me, if I'm on the phone with you in a long meeting, I will shit. Sometimes it's in the toilet, sometimes it's not. Yeah.
Or pee, number 1, number 2. It could be our combo.
Oh yeah, we'll pee during this episode. We all know this. So the second part to my check-in is I recently, Dave knows about this, but I think the entire audience needs to know about this. I recently got a DM from a gentleman on Facebook who said, I love the podcast. And I said, thank you so much. Do you want to be on the email blast list? Send me your email. And he said, yes, but I have a question for you. I would like to talk to you more about your pooping. And I was like, well, if you want to come on the show, you can. He goes, no, I've tried to talk to other women about it, and I really want to talk to women about their pooping. Wink, wink. And I was like, yeah, you can ask me any question. I will do it on the podcast. I will not do it for free off the podcast. So I screenshot the conversation, sent it to Dave and Stormy. They were very, for lack of a better term, impressed.
It was funny.
I will state it here fully on the show. If you want to talk about my pooping, I do not give that out for free like Mistress Astrid Page. I only talk about my pooping on the show. You can ask me any question you want. If you're a poop fetishist.
Only for the show.
Yeah.
And if you actually want to be on the show and talk about that kind of thing, you can call our hotline at 203-998-5579. I need to put this thing on my computer. I have to like bring it up. I can never remember. It's just like, I guess the age we live in. I can't remember any phone numbers anymore. So call that number or email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com and we'll hook it up.
You can even just leave a message saying, Ellen, tell me about your poop. Next episode we'll record. We'll play the message. I will talk about the poop. But I refuse to give this shit away for free.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, yeah. That was a good text string we were going through there. Oh, my God.
That's part of my epic check-in, only because it's pertinent to the show.
Yeah, it's adjacent. It's poop adjacent. So
yes,
we got to talk about it. Oh my God. Well,
so you guys, I had a little question for each of you. in our year in rear view. I took some notes, so there is an answer to this.
Okay.
What was your own best and worst poop of the last year? Which one do you remember? Or you could choose best or worst of the last year from your check-ins or from your non-check-in poop life.
Well, I know Ellen's, but
everybody knows mine.
Yeah. I feel like I don't have anything I remember so much. Maybe like, I'm sure within a year I had a couple of 4s in there, and that was like a big deal. I'm like, oh my God, a nice big 4. Awesome.
A perfect
4, but nothing of note. I would say, if anything, I would go with like any kind of 4 on the Bristol stool chart that I've had. That was pretty memorable for me. So like probably like the most 3.
Well, the one I noted for you was your worst. It really did sound like the worst time you had for like a year, which was after Ellen's birthday, the rosé and mushroom poop on the Philip Evans episode, which was fantastic episode.
He was great. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And then a few weeks later, Ellen, you were talking about microdosing shrooms as a cure for constipation, and I'm like, you guys nailed something here without even knowing it.
We actually discovered a different type of hack, if you will.
A poop hack, which is too much shrooms. Dave very unhappy. Microdosing. Ellen very happy.
Yeah.
But if anything that any fan of this show has learned, Dave and I's intestines or gut are 180 from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, different kind of gut flora.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about the mushrooms and rosé thing. Well, I will say, like, every time I do mushrooms, if I don't have them like in a pill, it definitely rips through my stomach at first, and then it's just like, oh, here we go. Then after that, I'm pretty good. But I do remember that now.
I enjoy that ripping through the stomach.
Oh, no.
Because I'm constipated all the time.
Oh, right.
It's nice to have it out.
Oh, it wants to get out of me, like the devil.
But yeah, I mean, the only reason I had a perfect 4 today was because I made this like 10 veggie soup, and I was like listening to one of our old episodes to make notes for this episode. Mm-hmm. And the last time I made the veggie soup was like in the spring last year, and I was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I make some good poops off this veggie soup. So I got to remember, veggie soup will cure my constipation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of any kind of vegetable thing. I think yesterday I had like so many veggies in that stir fry too. So we're probably just like pushing it all out. which happens. Yes. Oh my God. Well, I love all these. When it comes
to my perfect and my best and my worst poop, I would say my best poop was when I was able to photograph it. And
that's what I was going to say. Dave. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say was your best.
And then we talked about it in the Brandon from Rieger episode. And Brandon even said, he goes, nothing shocks me. And I cannot believe you guys are talking about this. Like, he was laughing so hard. So that was because I make a lot of perfect 4s, but I don't necessarily get to share them with anybody. So when Dave gave me the okay to share one,
it was pretty epic.
Me for a couple weeks. But it finally happened.
It was pretty epic. It was massive. Yeah. I've never taken a shit that big before in my life.
And I put a ruler next to it and everything.
Oh, so disgusting. It was disgustingly awesome.
I do love that you talked about it for like 2 or 3 episodes. You were like, you asked permission, you got permission, and then your body was like, we are drama intestines, and we're going to drag this out and not give you a perfect 4 for like 2 more weeks.
Yes. Yeah. It was insane. He literally cursed me.
I cursed you.
Yeah, he cursed my gut.
I put a curse on you.
I put a curse. His permission was a curse. And then my worst poop of 2020 is the infamous I shit in my kitchen garbage can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I coined it, the boo-bess.
The boo-bess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That was
the next level of low that I've ever been on.
It's so impressive at the same time, though.
I still contend that if you do you, if it was me, I'm like, I got to call you back. I don't care how important this fucking thing is. I got to call you back in 10, 15 minutes because I'll make up something. There's no way I could concentrate after taking a shit in the garbage can or in the kitchen.
I still had to shit in the kitchen garbage because Gerald was plugging up the bathroom.
That's what I'm saying.
So I didn't even have it. It literally was pants or garbage can.
No, I mean, regardless, I'm like, I got to call you back.
like when we always say pants or floor, there's a third option, garbage can. Garbage can.
Yeah.
And we learned that from Shelley Watson. And I actually blame my shitting in a garbage can on all our guests for giving me all these insane ideas. So,
well, thankfully you did. You would shit your pants on a phone call. You would definitely. Okay, let's just rewind real quick. If there was no garbage can and it was pants or floor, would you do it the floor or pants?
Well, that's the problem. I have always said in the 100 episodes of this podcast, I would pick floor. Of course I pick floor. Of course. And when it was happening, floor was not an option. Mm-hmm. Pants was not an option. I picked 3. I picked the third door. If there's no way I can just take a dump on my kitchen floor, like if there was no garbage can, let's just say there's no garbage can, it's like, I guess I'm having this in my pants right now. I don't know if I can do that. Boobess it, and like Boobess pulled out a plastic baggie.
But my question again was, if just between pants or floor in your kitchen, which one are you picking? I guess you're going to go floor.
Floor.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. As much as I want to say I would.
And the funny thing is, like, this has never happened. But I have always thought about if I had to go really bad, where would I go? And I would always think sink.
Oh, God.
But then you don't want to poop in the sink that you clean your teeth with.
No.
So thanks to Shelley Watson and probably a couple of our other guests, I picked garbage can.
Yeah. I mean, if there was like some kind of weird kitchen you had that had nothing in it except for just the floor and your pants was on the phone, I think I'm going to have to do pants. I don't know. Something about shitting on my kitchen floor. I don't think I'd want to go back in my kitchen.
Plastic bags come in like a Boobette.
No, I said if there was nothing in your kitchen, like there's nothing absolutely. It was just you.
But like, I get it, what you're saying about the sanitation and next time you were chopping vegetables, but isn't that same thing true on like the wood floor in your living room or any other floor option other than the earth outside? It's just
something about being inside the house in my own home. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I hopefully then get presented with that situation.
Okay, but both of you, say I choose pants. What's the next step after I just shit my pants?
It's the same problem.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
The same problem. You finish that phone call that you couldn't get off of it, and then wait till Joe gets out of the kitchen.
Then I would have shit in my pants. Mm-hmm. I then would have to take off said pants and throw them away. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then get in the shower.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's exactly what happened. But you wouldn't be like, I got to go run some errands in my shitty pants.
No, but I'm saying I removed that step of throwing away my pants. I just shit in the can.
Yeah. I mean, great.
It is impressive. It is. Because you also have to have your head together enough to do all these things. And you did them. And I'm very proud of you.
My head was only together thanks to our amazing guests. Like they have given me in 100 episodes, I have all these ideas because of listening to all these stories, you know?
Also, my apartment, we have a small little garbage can that you step on for the lid to open up. So I don't even know how that would work. I have to like squat down super low to take a shit. It would be like a disaster. So that's why I'm hanging up the phone. I think I was hanging up.
That's why I'm really happy about that. I have a really tall garbage can, a tall, large.
All things were in alignment.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Also, does yours one does it have a little foot part that flips up, or you just do it with your hand? Like you just open the lid up with your hand.
Motion sensor with your butt?
Yeah. Because I mean, like, if you were trying to shit in the garbage can and had like one of those little step ones, you'd be like, oh my God. It'd be all over the top of it.
You could invent that.
It would be like, with your ass. It'd be all over it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Funny. So should we get into all these notes and talk about this past
Let's do it.
52 episodes and the epicness that has been?
And now, our 100th year-end in review with Rose Marting starts now.
Yay!
There we go.
I love it.
That's like a bootleg intro. Okay. So, I'm all set. Let's get this thing started.
Well, I can start. I was so impressed with you guys, with some of the guests of this past year. Not only that the stories that they brought, but like the storytelling ability that you guys brought to the table. It was astonishing. Bambi the mermaid is one of the funniest people.
I think she wins MVP.
Yeah, for sure.
I laughed on the street multiple times, just burst out laughing in the middle of the street like an idiot. She's so funny. That Peaches story will stay with me. Peaches will stay with me forever. She is a true gem.
She's the best. She's hilarious.
Bambi, I think, brought us 4 epic stories. One we turned into a cartoon and could easily turn the other 3 into a cartoon. The clip that Dave has is from the white leather pants. And
Yes.
that like should have been also a cartoon. But I was fighting also for the couch to be a cartoon. I thought Bambi most definitely MVP of 2020.
Bambi, 100% agreed. Bambi was the MVP. So let's just roll back and play this clip of Bambi talking about her white leather pants.
Like one time I was at the bar at El Quixote and I had on these white leather pants. And there may or may not have been some drugs involved. I'm not going to say there was, but if there was, and then I was also drinking margaritas, like something just happened and all of a sudden, I mean, there was zero warning, zero warning. And it just like, it went, the pants were really thick leather. So it went down the back of my legs, like all the way to my knees and like down. And I, it was like hot and leathery. And I was like, no. I was also in the middle of a really fun time. So I didn't like want to go home or anything. So
I love that so much.
Total MVP.
I mean, she also gets MVP because she went into the bathroom and then cleaned up the leather pants as much as she could and kept partying. Didn't go home. That's remarkable. I think I would have gone home. I'm pretty sure I would have gone home. At the very least, just to change and then come back. But yeah, Bambi, oh guys, I love her so much. She's the best.
I also suggest, if this is the first episode you've ever listened to, shame on you, but go and check out the cartoon of Bambi.
Yeah,
all of our cartoons are pretty damn epic, but.
Or you can go listen to the archives, and Bambi the Mermaid is episode number 70. So check that out. You won't be disappointed. That was a laugh riot.
It was amazing. She's so funny.
One of my favorite parts to 2020 was my butt exam.
Oh yeah. That was well, the funny thing about that was more like you were like, at first you were like, yes, we're doing this. I'm like, cool. And then we got in there and Ellen was like, I mean, obviously too, like you were like, I think the logistics of it, actually how we were gonna do it when we got in there kind of changed. You're like, I don't know if I want Dave in here looking at my butt, which I was totally fine with. So this is more of a technical behind the scenes, if you will. I had to go into the other room and we had these like, I think I had like a photo stand or a mic stand. I can't remember which. And it was just like propped up next to Dr. Evan Goldstein with Ellen getting her butt
and I was hand holding a mic.
Yeah. And I was in the other room just like watching the levels and recording things, but it turned out great. And also, Dr. Evans Goldstein's office is not like a normal doctor's office. It looks like some kind of lounge. It's like it's so pimped out, and even like the area where he does all his like procedures, it looks like some room out of Architectural Digest. It's not like a normal hospital kind of clinical space.
Yeah.
So
he's got beautiful art around everything.
Yeah.
And I think you walking people through that experience from a first person perspective really takes some of the anxiety away. And guess what? We got to take care of our buttholes. So it's really important.
Yeah.
Hit all the marks. Which, let's just play this clip down memory lane.
And here's the booty. Cool. So slide on over.
I am laying on my side in fetal position.
Yeah, bring over and then.
And I am facing the wall, and the entire bed is coming up. He's elevating it. So I guess my ass could be closer to his face.
Yes, because I'm 6'3", and I don't want to be crouching tiger, hidden dragon over.
Oh well, you might be finding something hidden inside my dragon. So.
So first I'm going to do is I'm going to look externally. So I turned on the bright light. She can't see it, obviously.
I can't. My back is turned.
And you're going to help me, actually. Can you help grab
my cheek?
Yeah.
I'm pulling my cheeks apart. I'm spreading my cheeks.
Perfect. So now I'm looking externally. I take a look and make sure everything is cool. And she's got a beautiful, beautiful booty hole.
This is the second time a doctor has told me my asshole is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love my favorite part about that thing, which I was going to mention before the clip, was like and the table's it's going up right now. It's right. He's moving the table up. It's so fucking good. Oh, I love that one.
I mean, there's a lot more to that exam. He uses a scope. He sees all kinds of stuff going on, the trauma. But so it's a must listen. That was episode 52, right?
I believe it was.
Because it was our 1 year anniversary episode.
Yes, it was number 52. From Bespoke Medical gives Ellen a rectal exam on air. So go back and listen to that one. Anniversary special. I love that one.
I was very happy. All of your medical ones are great. I especially put in my notes that in a similar vein to when you walking people through that was really important. Matty Glitterati.
Yes.
Doing his story was so important because it included, having to advocate for yourself medically.
100%.
Yep.
Informing other people who maybe would laugh or not take things seriously. Mm-hmm. And he was hilarious, of course. So to package this information in a way that is palatable to people is really, you guys are doing amazing stuff.
Also the fact that he had an abscess in his butthole and he went to an emergency room that didn't know what was going on and they messed it up. He needed 2 other surgeries. The poor man went through so much and now he laughs at the fact. And he's helping other people diagnose because what he went through was way too much.
Totally. Taking the stigma out of it. I mean, I think he was great. Yeah. And you can hear that episode, number 62.
So how long was the recovery period?
A long time.
And this was right after the initial surgery or when you had
This is right after the initial surgery, and then I actually wound up having to have 2 more.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You think the initial surgery wasn't as successful? That's why you had to have more?
Exactly. Yes. That's
wow.
It was from this ER that was just didn't necessarily know what they were doing.
Wow.
And then literally 3 weeks after I had the surgery, I got a letter saying that doctor was no longer with the hospital. And I was like, oh great. So there's
fuck.
I'm like, oh cool. So those 2, when I was talking about those 2 rubber band things, he pretty much just poked 2 holes in my ass. I have 3 buttholes now.
Wow.
3 buttholes.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy story.
I've told so many people about that. I'm like, this guy has 3 buttholes. And they're like, what? And I'm like, you have to listen to the episode.
Yeah. Number 62.
Yeah, and the intersection of shame and how hard it is to advocate for yourself medically anyways is this is why what you guys do matters.
I think it takes.
And I didn't even know there was such a thing as an abscess in somebody's butthole, and which is something that's so important to know if you're doing any kind of anal play. So,
oof. Yikes!
Yeah,
that would suck.
Yeah.
Oh terrible. My God. Well, I had one of my favorite stories was your friend Billy Cole.
Oh,
he had a crazy story about a friend of his, evil friend of his.
No longer friend.
No longer friend, obviously, but that left some remnants in his at his parents' house when he was in high school, I believe. And I'm not sure what episode was that.
It was episode 65.
There we go, 65. Well, I'll just get into it. Just take a listen to this clip, and you'll die laughing like I did.
Sure as shit, like shit, there's shit in the bed. But not only is there shit in the bed, but there's like a fucking Hansel and Gretel trail, like going, and the room was carpeted, and it was like just dragged through the carpet, out into the hallway, across the tile, into the bathroom, smeared up the side of the toilet, and just everywhere. And then next to the toilet were my pajamas crumbled up in a ball in the garbage can. So she was completely passed out on pills and booze and shit herself. And I think in a drunken, pilled up stupor, thought she could clean it, looking like she maybe used the pajamas to try and clean it.
Oh, no.
I was grounded for a long time after that. My parents had to replace the carpet in the house.
Fuck.
I didn't talk to her again.
A couple of years.
Yeah, who would? I'm like, you're dead to me. I mean, just the fact that, like, if you try to blame it on the dog, I'm like, please.
Especially when there's remnants in pajama bottoms. Mm-hmm. Like, the dog put on the pajama bottoms.
The smart dog.
And then ran through the house.
One smart dog. Oh, I love that one. That was a really good one.
Oh, my God. Too funny.
I was so wowed and impressed and like so excited when I saw you guys got Margaret Cho on. She's one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, that was a huge get. That was awesome.
Huge. And she's hilarious.
She was great.
She is very funny.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was our biggest celebrity probably
to date.
Easy.
Yeah, we can top that for sure.
I mean, it was so fun when we called. We're doing FaceTime interviews, and like when she popped up, it was just so surreal. You're like, oh, it's Margaret Cho.
It's Margaret freaking Cho.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was really funny, really cool.
And then my other comedy one is Matt Frazier killed it. He is so talented and funny and such a gifted natural storyteller and so smart.
Oh yeah.
Like
he's amazing.
He's wicked. He's a wicked little boy, and I loved every second of that entire episode.
He was fantastic.
I feel like Matt Frazier was a roller coaster of an episode where he gave us high art, lowbrow, like death, like everything. Like
it was like a play.
Yeah.
It was like a play. Had all different kinds of acts, crescendos. It was great. Resolution. He was fantastic. But I mean, the part where he was talking about the baby that fell into that shit pit.
The pit.
And then they were talking about the eulogy for the guy that died, like saving. I mean, he's like, "What was that eulogy like?" And that was like one of the hardest laughs I've ever had in a long time. Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, this is so weird. Like, just like, oh yeah, he jumped in the shit pit to save a baby. It's like that's how he died. What?
Do you think the parents told that baby that it was them?
That was my question too. I mean, probably. I mean,
eventually?
I guess at some point.
I mean, it's got to be in a newspaper or something too, because if somebody dies that way at a festival, like publicly, like there's got to be something.
I mean, there's got to be some kind of record of that. It's like, great, I'm the shit kid.
Yeah,
the shit pit kid.
Totally. Dave, you have clips of both Margaret Cho and Matt Frazier. So
let's go with the Margaret Cho clip first, and then we'll follow it up with Mr. Matt Frazier. So here's the Margaret Cho clip from episode...
I have it. Episode 66.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yes, the Margaret Cho clip from episode number 66.
I had this weird attack where I was shitting but I was killing. And then I was like... I couldn't get off stage, and I backed off the stage, but it was coming out of my asshole, and I was wearing all white, and I knew that I was coming out, and I had to back up, and my car was right by the stage door, and I backed up, and I could hear them still applauding as I got in my car and I drove off. But it was like the weirdest thing where I knew it was coming out of my asshole, and I knew that I had to back out, and I was wearing all white. But it was like the last time I wore all white. But why wear all white? That was like a weird thing too. Like, why are you wearing all white when you know this is a possibility?
What I went. Totally.
I think we have also learned that that's the curse of shitting your pants on this show. We have a lot of stories of people wearing white like Bambi the Mermaid, white leather pants. I think Billy Cole was telling the story, or no, it wasn't Billy Cole. Maybe it was Billy. Somebody was telling a story about a woman shitting in white litting pants, and she bagged it up and then like.
Oh, that was Billy. He was talking about he was working as a server or something, or a host.
Yeah.
At a restaurant,
and he was like, I had to bag her pants because she wanted to keep them. And it's like, why is it always? I mean, maybe white pants is just more. I mean, like, there's now pictures on the internet of Trump in white pants with shit stains down it. Like, yes, it's obvious that you're going to see the shit better in white, but it's almost like how Dave cursed my butthole. Wearing white is a curse.
I agree.
I love how I'm getting blamed for that. Also, I've had white pants. I've never shit my pants or had any accidents. But, knock on wood, if I get a new pair, maybe that'll be the...
I was about to say 2021's coming up. With those white pants.
Well, with that, we're going to go into reference by Rose and Marting. Yeah,
clip.
I'm just queuing it up.
Oh, sorry. That is episode 93.
93 with Matt Fraser. Here we go.
To the early hippie festivals, toilets would often be called the shit pit. It'd be a huge pit dug, over which would be a bench with some holes in it. At the end of a 3-day festival, this fucking shit pit was a multicolored brown melange of intense disease, as you can imagine. And one time at the Albion Tree Fair in 1982, a baby fell in the shit pit.
What?
A guy jumped in to save it. Right? He saved the baby, but he died from disease complications in hospital.
Oh my God. This is so gross.
I know.
Stick it.
Yeah, I used to look through the hole sometimes thinking, no.
What happened to the baby?
Baby was fine.
What the fuck?
I wonder what the eulogy was like at the guy's funeral.
Oh, I fucking love that. He's like, one time in 1988, Albion Fairy Trust Festival. Everything about that story is just so fantastic.
His other one about being the MC is everyone needs to listen to that entire episode.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That was one of our better ones. I love that one.
Yeah.
Matt was great. He was really funny.
And it was so funny too because Dave and I saw him at the beach in I think late August, and he just basically came up to us and was like, "I need to be on your show. I have a list of stories." Well, and we're like, "Your book."
I was like, because he got there. I got to the beach before you got to the beach. We were talking, and he said something about he was doing reading up on some story about I forgot some 18th century. I forgot the name of the play. I apologize, but basically, he's like, I just want to get into this character. What was it like? What were the wsmells like back then? What were the atmospheres like? What was taking a poop back like that? I'm like, did you guys know about taking a poop? I go, I have the show for you to be on. And he was like, I got tons of great stories. I'm like, don't tell me any of them right now. And then, the rest is history. We got him for the show, and he told some great stuff.
Yes.
And gave a great poetic soliloquy reading about different types of things to wipe your butt with, which is fantastic. So again, listen to the episode. Yeah. Fantastic episode.
So round robbing it, I'm going to go next with our favorite porn star, Ryan Keeley. Yes. And how not only was she on the show twice in this past year with her mini-sode checking in about her idea of the 100 monkeys with why people were hoarding toilet paper, which I thought was Ryan and I have been friends for over a decade. I told her about the podcast a year and a half ago, and she became a quick and fast fan. And when she came finally on for an episode, she first of all let us be in bed with her and served us wine, and which was already a sexy situation to talk about all this shit. But she brought poop and fisting to the episode. She brought Gerald wants to be. This is literally being recorded, honey.
Yeah, Gerald was in episode 31, I believe.
Yes,
with my wife, Tiny D.
A double
episode 30. Two-parter
on dollars here.
Yeah.
Gerald, of course, had to interrupt me talking about how wonderful Ryan Keeley is. But anyway, so Ryan Keeley brought us the term Nessie.
Yes, she did.
We have to give her credit for. but she brought fisting and shitting and like her very first anal scene that she learned from our podcast on how to prepare for that because of Dr. Evan Goldstein and everybody else.
We played an awesome game with her. Is this a shit or is this an orgasm?
Yes.
So we did it all.
And yeah, she was a fantastic, most definitely our favorite porn star on the podcast. But I brought the clip of her with Michael Vegas because I still want to book him for the show.
Yeah, this guy sounds like a complete ass athlete. Athlete.
An athlete. And this is from episode 51. So people tune in. Ryan Keeley killed.
So he was like, I want you to shoot for peghim.com. And I was like,
there's a website called for peghim.com.
Peghim.com. And Michael Vegas, who's a fantastic performer I've known for a million years. And so I went to go shoot it. I was like, I've pegged dudes in the ass. I shoot for divine bitches on kink. Like, no big deal. He's like, yeah, bring some toys like on the bigger side. I like bigger size. So I brought the biggest toys that I had, which are not super large, but they're healthy, robust.
Robust.
And the dick that he had for me was like bigger than my arm.
Like a horse cock.
Like a horse cock. And I was like it was
like that dick had a dick.
It was down to my knees. It was freaking down to my knees.
Oh my god.
Wait, and you were supposed to fuck somebody with that?
Yeah. That was what we warmed up with.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Let me see if I have a video of it. I might have a video.
That's like that's pretty ridiculous.
I love it.
That was I forgot that night. I was like pretty buzzed by that night. We were like,
we all were.
We did two. We actually did the Ellen's butt exam that same day. We recorded that, and then we went uptown to record Ryan Keeley. So we had a long day with two back-to-back awesome interviews.
I would say that she like figured life out. She's a real character and a real gem of a person.
Super cool. And a big Renaissance Fair nerd. She was like, and I think Magic the Gathering. I was like, really? Mm-hmm. Well, real quick, since it's on my mind, I like the clip of Ellen's friend Tina, who was she working at Barnes & Noble?
I think it was Barnes & Noble. I re-listened to her whole episode, and I actually think I want to say top 10, maybe even top 5. She brought a lot to the show last year between her gong, which I realize we have to find this shamanic shitting thing. Like, I really still want to, after the pandemic, we need to get gong to gong the sound bath out of ourselves.
I wanted, exactly. I still want to do that as a bit. I love that idea.
Yeah.
She was great. I completely forgot about that.
And then she talked about like lasering vaginas and some woman shitting on the table, and her Irish coworker being like, Pat's gonna poop.
Yeah.
Pat's gonna poop. Seeing is believing.
So good.
But I picked this clip that, this clip explains it all.
You are shelving books, you're helping people, you're doing the cash wrap, whatever. And I remember they were like, oh, you have bathroom duty where you have to go and like check the bathroom. And usually you're checking the bathroom because people will bring in super expensive books and leave them in the bathroom, like for their shitting entertainment.
What?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so you're like taking the books out. I mean, I don't know if it's that way now. Maybe
that's even crazier because somebody eventually will buy that super expensive book that has other people's fecal matter all over it.
Well, and
what is wrong with people?
Like, we put it on.
I mean, is that really surprising? Like, this is really surprising. Like, none of this is actually shocking.
No, it's not. I mean, no, not at all.
2020, none of this is shocking.
No, not shocking.
I'm like, I'm surprised this happens. Like, it happens all the time.
You gotta Lysol the book you just bought.
Yeah. It's like a plastic glove. You're like, here you go. Disgusting.
So they were like, hey, we have a situation in the bathroom. Can you go and clean it up? So I'm like, okay, books in the bathroom, whatever. I go in, I look in the first 2 stalls, nothing. And I'm like, what? I go in the back stall, which is the biggest.
Someone shit in the book? Did someone shit in the book?
I mean, that would have been better, actually. I would have been okay with that. This was, I don't know how to say, like, shit graffiti.
Oh.
So, someone shit and took their poop and wrote "fuck you" in the stall. And I was like, and it was like they wanted you to clean it up. Yeah, I was like, oh hell no. Oh my god, no.
The new guy. Oh, that was so good. I forgot about that. Go listen to that episode, though. Episode 57, Tina Lovely. She was fantastic. And that story was just horrific. Fuck you.
That might be our only shit graffiti story on the show, no? That we know of so far? Like,
I mean, that I can remember.
That's savage.
It's rough. Yeah.
That's evil.
I mean, retail workers, let's say this very clearly, like the body and pole guy, people who work at an establishment that lets people use their bathroom, it is not their job to clean up your shits.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't care what happened in your life. That is not a retail worker's job to clean up after you.
No.
To the time to take to shit yourself, to shit, dip your hand into your ass and write "fuck you" on the walls. It's like a fuck you to yourself too, man. Now you're covered in fucking shit, and that's a guy did that.
Yeah.
No woman did that. Oh, that was so gross, but funny as hell.
Totally insane.
Rose, you got any others?
I had one. Well, I had two short ones that I don't. They're the news segments of the year that were my favorite, and one is just the story that Mr. Rogers really thought farts were hilarious.
Yes.
That's the entire story, that his wife was giving an interview, and she would just say that he would sneak up on her and fart and smile and giggle about it. And I'm like, that is the sweetest thing I have ever heard.
Mr. Rogers was cool as hell. He was a cool guy.
Such a cool guy. And that makes it so much cooler. And then the other news story, which I had missed somehow the first time around, was that video clip of the sewage truck exploding.
Oh, yeah.
From like a Russian dash cam.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to put that on the Instagram, because I missed that somehow the first time around. This was from a re-listen. I was like, what?
I mean, I know we're in a podcast. It's hard to play video, but I just couldn't, we had to talk about that. That was disgusting.
Put it on Instagram. It was insane.
And that smell's never getting out. It's just, you got to buy a new car. I mean, it's just awful.
And the driver is speaking a language I don't understand, but you totally know what he's saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's universal. His whole thing was like, I do not get paid nearly enough to deal with this shit.
And then someone was trying to pull ahead of him, and he was like, no, I'm driving through this.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
Rose, I don't know if you know, there's an Instagram page called Look at This Russian, and I don't know about these people out there who are saying that Russia is a cool place. It seems completely half-assed backwards.
It's at the Wild West over there. It's lawless.
Yes.
I will say that the presence of dash cams, the prevalence of the commonality of dash cams in these Russian videos is, I'm like, I think if everyone here had dash cams, we'd be finding some even worse stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Florida goes out. That's just completely. Mm-hmm. That whole area, the whole Bible Belt area down there, you'd find a lot of crazy shit. So, I mean, I guess in New York too. So I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. New York City's got some wild stuff going on as well.
Exactly.
Well, what about for this memory? Walk down memory lane. Since we were referencing it earlier with Ellen's kitchen, she was referencing the person that inspired it all. Miss Boo Bess was on the show talking about the accident she had in her kitchen. So let's just play that.
It's so good.
A couple of years ago, Juanita moved in with me, and we'd known each other for a long time, but we were new to being roommates, and so still sort of figuring each other out. And I woke up in the morning, my regular morning poo sort of started percolating in there. How long am I going to lay in bed? Am I going to try to get to the bathroom first? Is she going to get to the bathroom first? So anyway, I didn't get to the bathroom first. It wasn't urgent when I first woke up, but as she was in the shower, things went from interesting percolation to an urgent urgent situation. I was like clenching my butt cheeks, like holding my butthole closed. Like, I cannot keep holding this poo in. Like, the very first thing I thought was knock on the door and tell Juanita I had to poo, but I couldn't do it. Like, so I went in the kitchen and grabbed one of the empty grocery bags and pulled my pants down and shat in a bag in the middle of the kitchen.
Oh, classic.
I love it.
That was a great story. Episode 79.
When Boo Best came on, it was right, I think, the same week that Bambi's episode came out. And Boo Best was like, I got a great story. And then she was like, I can't top Bambi. And I was like, no, nobody can top Bambi. But still, come on and tell us your story.
Her story was fantastic. I thought it was great. Again, it's no Bambi, but no, still, it was still hilarious.
Well, Bambi's our MVP.
Yeah. But very, very MacGyver of her, Boo Best.
And
Classic
gave me
bag.
ideas
Yeah.
when I was in a pinch.
Yeah, exactly. Literally.
Listen to Boo Best's episode at 79.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Some good ones.
She has some stories. Ellen, do you want to...
Yeah, if we can go into another one. I was very excited last year during the beginning of the pandemic. Dave and I were kind of like scrambling, like, holy shit, what do we do? And so I was like, we should do that book report because we should both read these books. So we had a book report episode, and Dave's book was The Petamine, and my book was Fartology.
A gift from Rose.
A gift from Rose. And then mine was Fartology, which was a gift from Dave. And I absolutely loved Fartology. I called it the Bible of Farts. And then I was like, hey, we're all in a fucking pandemic all over the world. I'm going to contact Stefan Gates, the author of this fabulous book. And he was like, you guys seem like nutters. Of course, I'll come on. And so last year we had 2 international guests, Stefan being one of them, from London. And the clip that I picked was just the fact that what he decided to do with his time during the pandemic. And I thought it was so funny. So Stefan Gates from what episode was he? He was episode 64.
64, there you go. Oh, here it is.
Well, one project, obviously, that we can do now that we're all stuck inside is record our own farts to find out, can you change the sound of them? Can you play with them differently? So here's a few of my favorite ones. And you can just use a phone for this. I've been using voice memo for this. So let's play this one here. Put the ringer on. This is one I'm particularly proud of. And it's a real fart. This isn't a made-up one with me making the noise in my elbow. Here we go. Well, that was a bit quiet. Let's see if I can turn it back. Here we go.
Whoa.
Pretty good, huh?
Nice.
I'm pretty proud of that one.
Yeah.
And here we got one that I've called a squeaker. That's good, huh?
That's a good one. I like the sort of pitch change at the end there.
What were you eating to produce such farts?
Oh my God, there's so many in there.
We're just... so many. It's just part of my daily diet, really, to find out what's going to work best. Here we go. I don't know what this one is. Let's try this one.
He was loving that.
He was calling us nutters, and he's the one who's sitting around during the pandemic recording his own farts.
When I realized in that clip when we were laughing, there were so many of them. He was just scrolling down in the iPhone messages thing, like this giant list of like his farts, all recorded. Hilarious guy. Very cool dude.
All the things that our guests have inspired me to do or not to do or learn from, I did not start recording my own farts after that. Like,
I didn't either. I didn't have time for that. I don't fart that much, I feel like. Enough where I'm recording it that much. Also, he was great too because Stefan Gates, he's like a celebrity, kind of a minor TV celebrity over there in across the pond. He's got a bunch of BBC stuff. He's just like a celebrity guy. Really cool though. And very knowledgeable in the worlds of farts and poops.
And I thoroughly suggest his book.
Yeah. Fartology.
The other science one that I really liked from this year was from you guys have a whole subset of guests that are the bonbons, and Eileen's episode.
Oh, she was great.
The funeral director from upstate was so fascinating and very comforting, actually, to kind of hear what happens to your body after it dies and how it will be treated with respect and cleaned, and how they have, like, she was so together and like on top of things. I was just like, you know what? Everybody poops. Everybody's going to die. We might as well get used to these ideas without fear or shame.
Yeah.
And that was a very informative episode.
Well, she was great too, because I mean, both her and Gigi, they grew up around that stuff their whole life. So for them, it's probably not a big deal. But yeah, she was awesome. And her Instagram feed is amazing.
Yeah.
She's like a celebrity.
And she's on TikTok. She's actually becoming a tiny TikTok celebrity because there's no other adorable dancing funeral director out there.
Yeah, she's great. Really cool.
Yeah, she's the best.
Unfortunately, we don't have
episode 63 if you guys want to tune in. We don't have a clip.
We don't have a clip of that, but yeah, check that out. It's a good one. Well, we referenced again to this person, this guest we've had on, and she inspired Ellen to do her thing in her kitchen. Miss Shelley Watson. I don't remember what episode she was, though. I want to say that was in there. We should probably know that
episode 74.
74.
Yes.
It's so crazy we've had. I mean, just saying 74, 100 episodes. There's like a huge span of people that we've interviewed that all these crazy ass stories. So just go back and listen, people. You won't be disappointed. So this is Shelley from episode 74.
Well, from Shelley, first of all, she showed us her poo buckets, the different baskets she shit in. So that's what gave me the idea. But this clip is from when she decided to poison herself at a vacation resort.
Yes. I mean, well, you'll hear it.
So I was switching back and forth between shitting and vomiting in each one of these bags. And each time I filled a bag, I tied it up and I put it in the bathtub because I was like, the trash can is filled every time I use it. And so I had all these bags of shit and vomit in the bathtub. And then I just started thinking, oh my God, the cleaning crew is going to come in and they're going to see all these bags of shit and vomit. I took the laundry bag and I put all of the bags in there and I crept out of the room and I walked around the resort and I dropped off like a bag in this one and a bag in another one. Just distributed the shit everywhere. Feeling pretty good about myself as I finished and I'm like, okay, that's done. My husband, he just starts laughing hysterically and I said, what's so funny? What's wrong? He goes, didn't you stop to think about all the security cameras? He's like, and so they're going to be sitting there being like,
oh my God. I mean, we should also mention that, like, when Ellen said poison, she had eaten too much lobster.
But she has colitis.
Yeah, so she basically...
And she noticed when she eats a high cholesterol food, she will get sick. So that's how she chose to poison herself.
Yeah,
and lobster has the most cholesterol ever, and so she ate a 3-pound lobster.
Yeah, she wanted a little reward, or I guess birthday present. So
yeah,
she ate too much lobster and got herself sick, and thus the bathroom full of shit and vomit. That's a good one too.
She deposited everywhere.
She's got a lot of interesting shit stories.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to talk about next?
The only notes I had is that I think the pandemic, that we and your fans were prepared a little bit more for COVID because of a very early episode. This is from the first year, so it's not within the rules, but a very simple tip, which would help also in COVID transmission that you guys had given over a year before, was from Beelzebub, just to keep the toilet lid down before you flush. Just put the lid down before you flush.
Been doing that for years. Oh.
I know that you have.
It is like
other people need to start always doing that. It also addresses when a person with a penis comes after you, like in the falling in and stuff like that. Just always keep it down, then flush. It solves a host of problems.
Completely. I'm with you on that. It's when I see people, it's funny too. when you have guests over, we haven't guests over in a while, but like when we are able to have guests again, you can always tell who doesn't do that because you go in the bathroom, the toilet lid's up, and that drives me crazy. Crazy.
But I mean, it's not easy to adopt a new habit, but this is an example of when you have to and how it's better for everyone.
Completely. It's safer.
Yeah. There's so many bathroom habits that I think we've learned on this pandemic, from bidets are better, especially we're going through a toilet paper shortage. Talking about rimming from the beginning of the pandemic. We talked about that. There's a lot of stuff that we have been big pandemic and poo.
Yeah. I mean, well,
for me personally, the access to a bathroom that I trust has been the determinant of what I do socially.
Yes.
The number of hours I can be outside of my own house is determined by, I mean, really the only bathrooms that I choose to use are my own, or a very trusted friend that I know for sure that they're quarantining correctly, and then I wear my mask and you know, in their house. And I think I've literally only done that once though, and everything else is like, well, guys, we can hang out for like 45 minutes, but then I got a jet because an hour after that I'll need to use the bathroom again, and I'm not using yours or a Starbucks or anything else.
Oh God, public bathroom, no. Hell's
Not
no.
now.
No, not now. I mean, not forever, maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
True.
I've just written 5 clips that we made that I would like to highlight before we close out the episode. Okay. So you tell me. One is Dr. Fong, which is a very recent episode to the podcast, but I think she was so important. Kim from Flush, Brandon from Rieger, Mike Sinclair, and Jason's clip. Mike, I think, is very, it goes with the subject of COVID right now and what to do.
Yeah, no, Mike was great. I just reached out to him. I can't believe he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Just DM'd him on Instagram. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. Really funny dude, though. Admittedly, I'd heard that story on a different podcast, but I'm like, we have to have him on our show. So Mike Sinclair, really funny dude. He is big in skateboarding. I love this guy. He's hilarious too. He could be a stand-up comedian, I think. But anyway, Mike Sinclair, what episode was he?
He was episode 77, and
Awesome.
He was across the country. He does not like to fly.
No, he does not,
he had to get home, and he was like, I'm going to drive cross country. But this was the very beginning of COVID, like where things were starting to shut down. We did not know how dangerous it was. And he was like, I do not want to stop anywhere to touch any surface, or what will I do when I have a couple day drive home? Where am I going to poop?
He MacGyvered the shit out of this too. Like
I love this.
You'll hear in the clip, but he did some really cool MacGyver stuff and just actually stayed in people's like driveways or like abandoned like office buildings, and just never had, except for getting gas. That was it. He made it all the way home from North Carolina to San Diego. So my man is like he's all that. Here we go.
From coast to coast, three days. All this COVID stuff, I'm like super paranoid. So I was like, man, I don't want to go in any convenience stores. I don't want to stop. I just have to stop for gas. But I'm like, I'm not going to any restaurants. I'm like, where and when and how am I going to shit? Like, so I was like, it's gonna come. Like it has to happen. And I was like, should I eat less? With all this crazy thoughts in my head, and I'm like, you know what? That camping chair right there, it just popped in my head. I'm like, if I just cut like a hole, like a toilet bowl, that's a comfortable chair. That was in the middle of New Mexico, and I was like, oh no. And then I was like, nobody around. Sat in the chair, pants down, and I was like, all right. And then it worked like a normal toilet. After I got up and folded the chair up, I just kicked rocks over the shit like a cat, and then I just carried on about my business.
I DM with him every once in a while, and like he's back in North Carolina right now, actually. But he is like, the pictures he showed us for that episode were hilarious with the chair. I'm like, you should really market this thing because it's a pretty genius idea.
There is a market for it.
I mean, cut a hole in that chair, man. Bam, there you go.
Rose, are you pooping right now? I see you moving around.
No, sorry. Yet another person rang my doorbell.
Oh,
but it was legit this time.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were pooping on the podcast. I was like, another epic check-in.
No, well, I did have a question out to, no one answered it, but I wanted to survey if COVID and being on your phone all the time and being on Zoom has made you more amenable or less amenable to talking to someone on the phone while you're in the bathroom. And no one answered me. And I'm like, you guys are liars. You're definitely pooping and talking on the phone way more than you did a year ago today. Don't lie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've definitely pooped and talked to somebody on the phone for sure. Not during a podcast, unfortunately. That's Ellen's job. Oh, well.
No, but like, there's videos of people on Zoom. We have videos of people jerking off this past year. We have videos of people shitting.
Yeah.
Videos of people
forget
farts and forgetting.
People forget how cameras work, apparently.
Yeah. People are not remembering because it's video. People can see.
It lives on forever. Well, should we get into which clip do you want to get into next?
The next one, I think, is one of the most epic episodes, and I cannot wait for. We're recording this a couple weeks before the party tonight, but for anybody who's listening to the episode this morning and tuning into the party tonight, Brandon's going to be there.
Yes.
So I am so beyond excited at this fisting god, Brandon from Rieger, and
this is a good one
episode. And Dave asked him, he was like, "I gotta know." And Brandon answered, episode 88.
Yeah, you'll hear the Q&A right here. But I do have one question, and this is more just like out of pure curiosity. You were mentioning before, like, if you're having a session with somebody and you obviously you take it slow as opposed to just going in like up to your elbow. Like, what's like the farthest you've gone with your arm? Because that is like physiology. Shoulder.
Shoulder. Definitely shoulder. And there is footage to prove it. Boom. I've totally gone to shoulder, and I've gone shoulder deep, and like I want to say maybe 4 or 5 guys.
Wait, can I just ask though? It's not straight. It's
straight. Yeah, it's straight. Yeah, I mean because like a lot of that is one really big myth about like anatomy and physiology is that like things go up and they actually curve straight over and blah blah blah. Like it totally does not work that way. Like the body it's like a bunch of like really soft tissues and stuff like that. So it's actually forming to the direction that you're going in as opposed to you forming in its direction. Now, don't get me wrong. Some places in the anal canal, like where there's muscle spaces and stuff like that, those you can't bend or move. Like you just have to work with what you got kind of thing. So not everybody can do that. Like some people can only go as far as like the wrist. Some people can only go as far as the elbow. And then some people, they have like a straight canal and you can go all the way in.
Were you like up in I imagine your fingers are coming out of his mouth. That's just like insane.
I know, right? Like I totally have touched a man's heart before. No, I'm just playing.
Thank you. Oh my God.
That's some Indiana Jones type
I almost passed out.
No, like I mean, you can definitely feel like the pulsating in some areas, like with the nerves. Like you can feel it. You can totally.
That was
my God,
terrifying, but legendary. So he'll be on.
That was my favorite episode of the past year. That was a
good one. That was a great one. That was the GOAT.
We might have had celebrities and MVPs, but talking to a fisting god.
Yeah.
And what the butthole can
actually get like a belt or something, or some kind of medal for that stuff. He was fantastic. Hilarious.
Next level.
Yeah, for sure. Next level. Oh my God. And he was episode 88 on the podcast. So give it a listen. You will not be disappointed.
One of my other favorites was talking about professionals was Kim from Flush. I swear to God, people, you should tune into her. Everything. She does classes online. She does talks. She's fantastic. The knowledge that this woman has. But this was the one time, there's been many things on this podcast that have shocked Dave, but I've just rolled with the punches. And this was the one time that Dave was like, Ellen, your face. Like this was my pure horror and shock.
All right, here we go.
I want all the gritty details. Call the Museum of London because they have a piece of Fatberg on in their archive. They had it on display and they had to take it off a display because it started to mutate.
What?
Yeah.
It's like
so
a tumor.
Yeah. Well, so it started to like sweat and change color, and I think it started hatching eggs or something.
Oh my God!
That is insane.
But they still have a fat cam that you can watch it online live whenever you want, because they're still not sure if it's going to change again. So they have a camera on their website where you can watch the fatberg and see if it's going to change. And I guess there's people who go watch it regularly and are like, oh, it's sweating again, or oh, this thing happened.
Oh wow, yeah, that was gross. Well, didn't we find out later on that they thought the hatching was from like some kind of mites or some kind of bug?
I think flies
or something, like some kind of larva was in there. But still, that is just the most foulest thing I could think of to see.
Fatbergs, I think, are. Somebody's got to do a horror movie about it. It's the worst thing ever.
It's pretty gross. It is pretty gross.
I mean, even when she was telling us, because like, for some reason when I see a fatberg, I'm like, so they just like push it out, and she's like, no, you have to hack away at it. Like it's not like a 1-day removal. And I was like, what?
It's foul.
Oh.
Well, Kimberly from Flush was episode 91. So if you want to hear about that, go listen to that one. You'll be thoroughly disgusted.
And then my last two favorite clips is Dr. Fong, who we started the year off strong with Dr. Evan Goldstein. We ended the year with Dr. Fong. Two doctors who have seen my butthole have been on this show. And I love Dr. Fong so much.
Dr. Fong studied with Dr. Evan Goldstein, too.
Yes, but this clip is all the things Dr. Fong has surgically removed from people's buttholes.
I want to say that probably I pulled things out of people's butts more often than I would have liked in my career. But,
sure.
And the most common thing is dildos, like number one. And the biggest one I ever pulled out was like an 18-inch black double-ended dildo. Wow. And the excuse is always the same. It's doc, I fell on it. I sat on it by accident. I was doing something else and this ended up my butt. Like that actually.
It doesn't work that way.
I love. I sat in the 18-inch double-ended dildo by accident. It was just sitting upright in the couch.
Yep.
I don't know what happened.
Yep. I sat on it. Yeah. Other things, cucumbers, drink bottles of all sorts. One time there was a screwdriver, which I think is suspect, like the wrong end of it. And one time I found a bag of cocaine,
Wow, that one was and there was more stuff, I'm sure. I was like, she just kept going. It was great.
Yeah.
Woo! Dr. Fong was awesome. She was great.
The one great thing that I learned with Dr. Fong was that if you do get something stuck up your butt, you just go under anesthesia and they just go in your butthole and pull it out. Like they rarely have to do surgery, which in the Matt Knife cartoon, you could see he was the one, which we even asked her, we were like, we might know the person who had this double-ended 18-inch dildo up, and it ended up not being him.
Yeah.
So Matt Knife, you're not the only one out there. But in the Matt Knife cartoon, they almost tell him he might have to have a colostomy bag, but it seems like, thankfully, because anesthesia will loosen up the sphincter enough that they can just go in and grab it and pull it out.
I mean, that's what she was saying too. Like a lot of stuff, people shoot up their butts. Your butt sort of like suction cups it in there, and it's like really hard to get it out. So be careful when you're playing with weird objects, or maybe don't get high and start sticking stuff up your ass. Who knows? Good bit of advice.
Yeah, do not put anything up your butt that you know for a fact you can't pull out on your own. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Fong, episode 97. Check that one out. And we have one more from episode 58.
And Rose, you kind of talked about Phil, Jason's now husband. When we recorded them, they were fiancés. But this clip of Jason was one thing that I literally to this day keep telling people, because if anybody out there knows Mr. Jason Mejias, he is a lovely man who also has a very bitchy side to him. And this bitchiness has been there since the beginning, because as a kid, he hated his stepfather, and this is what he would do.
How's your dues? Tell us.
My dues they're good. I mean, I only poop once a day.
Oh,
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's healthy.
I mean, yeah, it's better than when I was a kid. I used to be like super constipated, and it would be days.
Yeah, it's awful.
It would be days.
Do you know why?
No.
Was it diet, stress?
It could have been stress, like, you know,
too much
being a
mofongo?
closeted gay child and in a Puerto Rican home and like bullied at school, like that, all that kind of stuff. So
I do think a lot of it.
I'm sure that did a lot with your constipation.
I feel
but a lot of kids, I was constipated when I was younger too. I felt like
but it was like so when it was time to poop, it would be like the most massive dumps to the like I would clog the toilet.
The mad shitter.
Clogging the toilet. I love it.
Every single time, to the point where I had a stepfather, or I mean he's still with my mom. I was never a fan of him, and I used to use this toothbrush to cut up my poop so I can flush it.
Oh my god! Are you serious?
Not like that.
Oh my god!
Just
that is so fucking awful. Holy shit! I wonder if that guy knows about that. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
That's also a horror movie. Like,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh,
that's pretty
those are two
bad.
episodes to listen to together if you can, because they are a great pair.
Yeah.
Bill and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We talked about having the two of them on together. So after the pandemic, we should do it.
Sure, they were fun.
I loved Phil's too, because he was our first guest who like admitted about HPV and his butthole and what had to happen for that. And it's really nice when people come on with medical stuff so we can normalize it for other people. Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, they were great together.
And their cat that has IBS. That was my favorite pet story.
Oh yeah,
of the year. Their IBS cat. That each of them has their own unique problems, and also their cat has IBS.
They are like, oh my god, there's so much there.
Ellen, I know you have feral cats by your house. I have them outside my house too. And the best discovery was when I videotaped them. I have them on Instagram and documenting it. And I was, where do they go to the bathroom? And they use the storm drains like a toilet. Like a human toilet. Yeah, they're so smart because they don't want to interact with humans ever. So they stay out of people's yards and they pee and poop right down the storm drain.
Wow.
So smart.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Cats are the best. Well,
my feral cats actually in Brooklyn, they shit in the people's garden. Which I think is so funny because these people are growing vegetables.
Yeah.
And if people want to not have that happen, if you don't mind feral cats, but you would prefer them not to poop on your cucumbers and stuff, planting mint and using citrus in your compost
I've heard that
helps.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Mint's a good one. Also, just a real quick roundabout callback here. If you want to listen to Jason's episode 58, or Philip Evans, his partner, or his husband now, episode 55. So they're only 3 apart. So if you want to listen to those, go back, check it out. You'll laugh. It's really fun. And I guess with that, dude, I can't believe how long we've been talking about this stuff. It's so much fun. Rose, I'd like to thank you again for not only being our fan of the show, an early fan of the show, but just being such a lovely person and having copious notes about this year.
I will stop in the middle of the street and on the sidewalk and like pull to the side of the sidewalk and be like, I have to open my docs and write down the funniest thing that happened on the podcast today. You guys are fantastic. I've learned so much. I think you guys have really broken down some stigma and also like let people laugh at themselves. That's also really important, especially right now in this dumb pandemic.
Oh yeah. It's almost to the point where I'm so sick of talking about this stupid pandemic, but yeah. It helps. Laughter heals all.
Yeah, it does. I feel like in the past year too, all the people we've interviewed via FaceTime, Zoom, they've all said that. They're like, thank you so much. This is the first like hour and a half during this pandemic where I just got to laugh and not think about everything else that is going on, from politics to everything. So I'm glad we could bring that to people. Just a little bit of an hour of their week, a little bit of levity.
Yeah. Sometimes more than an hour. We're working on that.
We can talk.
Anyway, again, Rose, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me. You guys are my favorite. Thank you so much.
You're our favorite. And if you want to come back next year, start writing notes for
you
know it. You know it.
And we'll see the rest of y'all at the live party.
Yes!
So we'll see you, well, basically after you finish listening to this episode.
Yeah. If you listened to it this morning when the episode came out, go on to heypoopypodcast.com for a link if you haven't bought tickets already. But if you're listening to the episode after, we will probably have a recording, probably a way for you to watch it.
Or some way. It'll be available somehow. We'll figure that out. But yes, you'll see it after in post.
But it's going to be one hell of a party to celebrate 100 episodes. It's going to be the night of 100 buttholes.
So good. So until next time, we'll talk to you or about your poops and your farts.
Happy pooping, everybody, and enjoy your butthole.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment. Produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather, edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at heypoopypodcast and Twitter at heypoopy. Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey Poopy.